And we may be live. Don't have a real good signal. Just kind of doing a test to see whether or not I got a good enough signal to go live here in the future. And I got one. Fishing with squirrel on Lake Keowee, doing a little Friday night light fishing. Crappie and some, I got a couple of catfish rods out. Hey Dave, how's the audio? And is the compressor just too much? I got I say compressor. I got a generator on here, powering up a big sodium that I got. Must not be good. All right, so testing 1, 2, 3, just a trial to see if this is going to work or if I would be able to do that with this Honda cranking, powering up a big 400-watt sodium. Everything is good. Wow, I mean, that's good if you can't hear it. Can you hear me okay? Kind of see them rods. You on again? All right. You need a net? All right, be right back. Got to get a net. Oh, you got a bass. Hey, well, thanks for joining in, Catfish Fever. We came out here to do a little crappie fishing, and they weren't on the docks that they're normally on. They've already moved off of them. So what we're doing, I got a buddy out here with me, and I got a couple of catfish rods right here, and I caught a 30-pound blue cat a little while ago. I already cut it loose, but we probably got, we got a few of these in the boat. Probably about 15 or so. But I wanted to try. I got my, in order to have lights out here, got my generator on. And I only got 2 bars where I'm at. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, if it's glitching or if it's coming through clear. Because I don't have a real strong signal. It's tough on this lake, especially on this end of the lake that I'm on. I hope everybody's doing well tonight on Lake Keowee, crappie fishing and catfishing. We are setting just off on the edge of a creek channel that drops down about 60 feet. We're sitting in about 40 feet of water. I have one bait straight out the back of the boat. It's in about 40 feet, and I got another one in about 60 feet. But I've got one. I don't know if I'll do a video or post a short of it. It's a really nice blue cat. Right at 30 pounds. It was like 32 pounds in the net, 31.10, something like that. But so not bad. I couldn't resist. I had to throw some baits, cut gizzard shad. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for joining in. And Dave, got 3 in, got 5 in. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Just out here on Friday night, doing a little bit of crappie fishing. I got my striper, my sodium light out. You can see it kind of, well, maybe. I'll get it. That's my 400-watt sodium I got hanging over the side of Squirrel. And I got my little generator there running. And I really wanted to see if I would be able to do some videos when I go striper fishing and I have to run that sodium light, whether or not it would just be too aggravating and the volume not be very good, or if I'm coming in okay. And on top of that, I only have about 2 bars, so it's not a great signal. I may be glitching in and out. But I only got 2 catfish rods out tonight. We've been throwing soft plastics and dropping also minnows, catching these crappie. We've got the bait fish around us, that's for sure. But that 400-watt sodium's putting it out. Is everybody, am I okay? The volume coming in okay? Or is the signal okay? Or is it going in and out? Because if it's going in and out, I'll go ahead and cut the feed. Still got 4 people in. Thank you for joining in. Fishing on Lake Keowee. Doing a little bit of night fishing. Came out here with a buddy. We got some minnows hanging over the boat on some 6-pound test lines, some crappie rods, and I've got these 2 old Shakespeare rods, and I've already boated a 30-pound blue cat a little bit earlier. I went ahead and turned it loose. But we got a couple of gizzard shad on these. I got a gizzard shad head, and that 30-pounder came on a body section. But we're fishing a creek channel. It's about 60 feet deep, and there's actually a green light, a boat dock light, that we decided to take and come over and crappie fish. I turned the graph on, and we went a good ways all the way to the back of the creek to 8 feet of water, and saw a few fish just scattered here and there, but no mega schools. So it already gotten dark, so we decided to come back and hit this green light by a boat dock. We set up off of it, started catching a few fish, and then I went ahead and put the sodium out and cranked it up. But that blue cat, that 30-pounder hit with its generator running, sodium on, green light on. It didn't care. It still smashed it. But yeah, we're in about 60 feet. Well, this bait's in 60 feet of water. This one's in about 40 feet of water. But I appreciate you guys coming in on your Friday night. I'm pulling a late nighter. There's going to be a bass tournament on this lake tomorrow, and I think there's going to be about 200 bass boats, so I'm not even going to think about it. Figured we'd come out here and fish into the night so we didn't have any traffic to contend with. Hello, hello. Not sure. Okay, I can see chat now, Palmetto. It comes up and it goes away, and if I turn my head, I missed it. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm on. Is it not? Am I not coming in? Uh, hey, Joy, thank you for coming in. I see it now. I got to figure all this out, guys. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I hope I'm coming in okay. So, Joy, Kev, thank you for Low Country. Thank you for coming in. Me and a buddy came out here and decided to do a little bit of crappie fishing. I threw 2 rods off the back of the boat and landed a 30-pound blue cat, biggest one I've caught so far. So it's I've got, maybe I'll put up a YouTube short on that one, but that was fun. That's with a 400-watt sodium bulb on, and it sounds okay. Good. I was afraid about this generator, and I've only got 2 bars. When I was fishing your tournament, I was on up the creek a little bit more, so I'm back over into open water, but still only 2 bars. But another thing, I was afraid about the generator. I'm doing good, Mr. Gadget. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm on Keowee. I'm fishing. If you're fishing, you're really good. I was telling everybody that there's a bass tournament going to be on this lake tomorrow, and there's going to be about 200 bass boats that are going to be zipping all around. So me and a buddy said, you know what? We got off work and we decided to not hearing it. Great, man, that's awesome. It is a Honda little 1000 EU, but it's sitting right beside me in the boat. And I'll show you my setup on Squirrel. I'll bring you around. Hopefully I don't lose you with a signal. But that's my big sodium light that I got sitting on the rails of my boat. And then that's the little generator that's sitting there running right now, powering that sodium. And then I have that overhead light kind of giving me light so you guys can see. But hopefully I'll have another catfish jump on here. I wasn't really expecting that. We're fishing a green light for crappie. And I've actually got a rod over on this side that's got a minnow drop down right now. I got a buddy up on the front of the boat that's got a couple of rods dropped over with minnows on it, and then he's throwing a plastic about what you throwing, Cook? About a 16th ounce jig? Yeah, he's throwing Bobby Garland and tearing them up. I mean, he's laid into them. So we've got some fish to clean. We got a few like that in the live well. I wish I would have had that 30-pound blue cat on there. It's what we're supposed to be doing is catfishing, right? But I couldn't resist. I had some frozen gizzard shad, and that 30-pounder hit a frozen gizzard shad body section. Hey, Mike Irvin, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I hope I'm not going over top of anybody else's live. I looked, and I didn't. 2 stands already. What lake? Lake Keowee, Mr. Gadget. I'm It's about the one I fish a lot. It's just easy for me to fish. But I'm on Lake Keowee. It's in between Lake Jocassee and Lake Hartwell. There you go. Thank you, Kevin. But it's in between the two. It's a clear lake. And we're out here we were fishing a green light on this dock over here, but they turned the green light off. But we already had the sodium fired up, so the bait, there's tons of bait still around us, a lot of threadfin shad, just a little small bait. And the crappie we're catching are good sized crappie, 12, 15 inches. I think he's caught one small one we threw back, but most of them are really good. And then that one nice blue cap. But yeah, we got off work today and said, you know what, let's put the boat in and go fishing tonight, because there's not going to be any fishing tomorrow with all them boats zipping all over the place. Fishing the tournament. Okay, the sodium lights. What? Well, it's a parking lot light. It's a 400 watt, same kind of light they use for parking lots. So you can find people there's a guy, Kevin, that's in Iowa that I went and bought these things from down below Anderson. But he takes down these sodiums and I guess installs LEDs. And so I take out the sensor. It comes with one of those sensors, so when it gets dark, it turns the light on. So I go ahead and bypass that and put a plug on it. And I've got a couple of these that I'll set up, mainly for striper fishing. But I said, you know what, let's go ahead and we were going to try to pull those crappie that I've got on a video that were underneath the community dock, that big old school that's underneath about 3 pontoon boats. Well, I went there. Those fish are gone. They're not there. So we moved around and started fishing another boat dock here. But anyway, the sodium, I'll take you down and let you see it again. But it is, it's just a big parking lot light. And I've got a bracket that sits on top of my 1/4 rail. And I had to wire the plug in. But it's hooked into 110, but that sodium, it'll run, you can put it on 280, 110, you know, it comes where you can wire it up a bunch of different ways, but I just hook it in 110 to run off this little generator and it works good. But it puts off that yellow light, not a real white light. And a buddy of mine guide fishes up on Lake Jocassee, and he, and getting bait up there, he uses a sodium. He's tried white lights, but he just feels the sodium works a lot better bringing in the bait fish. And we have a lot of bait fish. I'll try to get you a picture of these bait fish right here. You might see them. The lake's clear. If I don't lose you and I don't mess anything up, get it and turn it around. Those are bait fish. Can y'all see those? Hey, OSU. But those are all bait fish around this light right now. There's quite a few of them. I hope you can see that. Give me a thumb. Okay, you can see it. Great. All right. But that's all the bait fish. That's great. I'm glad you can see them. If I can't show you any other fish, at least I can show you some bait fish. Then I can show you the live well right here. Yeah, Gadget. It took me a while to find somebody who had these sodium lights. And again, it's a 400 watt, and It's a parking lot light. So if you no, we're in 40 feet of water. That's all. Let's see. That's a reflection right there. What's that? That's a reflection off my bumper. I got my bumper in there, but and I'm just spooking the bait fish. But I was just showing you the bait fish back over there. Hey, Mike Turner, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you chiming in. Stove Fishy, I hear you. Yeah, I've never fished with squirrel. Is my pontoon boat, so I fish with squirrel all the time. Hey, Mike T, thank you for coming in. But yeah, we're fishing with gizzard shad, minnows, and throwing live baits for, or throwing some crappie jigs, some soft plastics for some crappie. So we're I got this sodium light that's right here that I've got. I'm back up and get a better view of it. That's it. And got my net hanging off the back, but I got that little generator just to run. And I'm sure that was loud, me holding that right there by you guys. But we're we got a few crappie in the live well. So we've got fish to claim whenever we decide to come back tonight. But those sodium lights, I had to do some looking around to find somebody who had them. You can find them. I found them on Craigslist. That's how I found them. And you can probably find them on eBay, but they're not new. I mean, you can buy them new, but those things are really expensive. Like I paid $40 a light. If you go on and buy a sodium light, 400 watt, I looked at them and I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna have to keep on waiting until I can find one that somebody took out of a parking lot, started swapping LEDs and taking out the sodiums. So I was hoping to be able to get another catfish for you. Okay. Thank you, Low Country. I appreciate you coming in. Have a good night. And or if you're going fishing tomorrow, good luck. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night, sir. Thank y'all for stopping in. I really appreciate it. I got 13 thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I will do my best. Thank you, Stove Fishy. Thank you for coming in. My and if it don't go back. I'm still learning on this, guys. I'll eventually get it. Maybe. I might get it. I've got an external battery this time. Thought I had it all figured out, but yep. Good luck tomorrow, Palmetto. Hey, thank you, Mr. Gadget. I appreciate it. I'm trying. This is it's a learn. If I can ever keep the batteries charged, and I got an external battery for this phone, and I thought I'd be okay, but I don't think it's charging. So if it cuts off, I apologize. I'm not just chopping the feed. I would say good night and have a blessed night, but I don't see my little charging. My little lightning bolt doesn't say that I'm charging, and it went to low power mode for whatever reason. I can get my head out of the way so y'all can maybe see those fishing rods. I hope y'all can see that all right. But thank y'all for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the 13 thumbs up. And again, this is Dawson Fishing with Squirrel on Lake Keowee. Trying to catch a few. The crappie bite has slowed down a lot. They are anywhere from 12 to 15 inches. They're pretty good size crappie. We only caught one that was close to here in South Carolina. It's got to be at least 8 to keep it. But we only caught one that was kind of borderline. We threw it back. The rest of them have been good size, but it's just not. It's here and there. They'll get one. Sometimes they'll hit a minnow, and sometimes they will hit the soft plastic. Throwing Bobby Garland soft plastic. Yeah, they're good size. They're every one of them except for one. We're good. Thank you. Appreciate you, Mike Turner. I appreciate you sharing me out. I really do. Thank you so much. I don't know how much longer I'll be in here because, again, I'm worried about my battery. I'm not sure that for whatever reason, even though I got this thing going and I got full battery, somehow I don't think it's getting to my phone. Hey, James, I am fishing. We came out here, me and a buddy, crappie fishing, and we scanned a creek here on Lake Keowee in the upstate of South Carolina. We went all the way from 60 feet of water all the way back to 8 feet of water, and just saw some scattered fish, but nothing in big schools. So it had already gotten dark, and we decided to come back and fish a dock that's got a green light that's down in the water. And I decided to go ahead and throw a couple of these. I had a couple of catfish rods on the boat, and I chopped up a frozen gizzard shad, as I already had the sodium light out and running and the generator on. And so I caught a 30-pound blue cat, and I'll at least do a YouTube short on that one. And then we've got I don't know, 15 or 20 crappie, good size 12 to 15-inch crappie. But it's been good, all black crappie on Lake Keowee here. I mean, they may be white crappie, but we haven't caught any. Not in this spot anyway. Yeah, we got the green. They turned the green light off, so they had it on for a while. I don't know if it's on a timer or what, but the sodium's out here, and now we're surrounded by the bait fish. There's a lot of little small threadfin. Hey, Mr. Turner, and if I'm missing y'all, I apologize. I'm on the YouTube, so this little scroll thing goes quick. But I appreciate you coming in. I really do. We decided to come out and fish this afternoon or tonight. Because by the time we got off work and got everything together and loaded up, we were going to set up on the community docks where I shot the video, and there was a whole school of crappie underneath the 3 pontoon boats. And those fish are gone. They're not there anymore. So we went on up the creek all the way to 8 feet of water, done some scanning, and just saw scattered fish. So decided to come back and fish this boat dock. I had a light on it. We've done okay. We've caught a few, but I threw some baits off the back of the boat. Hey, no real loss. Thank you, Beck. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I am on Lake Keowee in South Carolina, the upstate of South Carolina. I am about maybe 10 miles from Clemson. So we're all the way in the right at the foothills of the mountains. He said, "Of course." Yep, of course. That's right. But we came out here to do some crappie fishing, and I threw a couple of catfish rods off the back of the boat and caught a 30-pound blue cat on frozen gizzard shad. It hit a body section, and in about 40 feet of water. One's out in 60 feet of water. One's in 40 feet of water. It's a really steep bank that comes up to this boat dock that's right here. It's not 10 yards from us, but we've caught probably 15 or 20. Or my fishing partner over here has caught 15 or 20 crappie. I've managed one or two, but he has been waylaying them while I've been sitting here trying to get some rods out and get set up and get the light set up and see if whether or not I would even get a strong enough signal to be able to go live. But thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, and thank you for hitting those thumbs up. But I got 2 bars on the signal. I'm not sure that my battery's charging, so if it shuts off, I apologize again. It's a learning experience. I'm plugged into my battery, but I'm not sure that the battery's going to the phone. And I'm hoping that I'll take and maybe get another catfish tonight. That one got me excited. I forgot all about crappie fishing when I caught a 30-pound blue cat. My buddy's up there catching fish on the front of the boat, and I said, "I'm catching the fish that's eating the fish that you're catching." He said, "Yeah, that was a blast. That made my night. Catching that 30-pound blue. Yep, I'm happy. That did it. I mean, I enjoy catching crappie, but that blue cat. I mean, it started just ripping the drag out of the rod. I'm like, oh boy, we got a good one." But we decided to come out and do a night trip. It was it's the first time I passed the other fish. I've got flatheads, blue cats bouncing all over the 29, but I couldn't break the 30, and this one was 32 in the net. You got fish on? Buddy got a fish on up here in the front of the boat. He got another one. So you got a bass or a crappie? Yeah, he's got a slab crappie. You'll want to see this one. Bring that back here and show it to. We got here you go. Let me have that. That's what he just pulled out right there, and that's about the size they are. You can see that, and that's, I don't know, about probably 13, 14-inch fish. So not bad. If I was in North Carolina, I could put that on the hook and catch a big blue cat or flathead on this lake, but we can't do that in South Carolina. Yeah, they've been pretty good. They have been pretty good crappie, and it's sporadic like that. I mean, you pick up one here, you pick up one there. The bite's not just like absolutely on fire, but they're all quality fish. And thank you. I got 8 great people in here. I do appreciate it. And thank you for the thumbs up. I got 15 thumbs up. If you hadn't hit that yet, please do so. You listening? All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Johnny. And I got Rob in here. Appreciate it, Rob. Thank you for coming in. Grace, thank you, Grace. If I missed anybody, I apologize for missing you. And if this feed automatically just happens to close out, I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure that my battery's charging on my phone on this external battery or not. I fished Patriots tournament last year, Lake Wiley. That's the only time I've ever been to that lake and fished that lake. Growing up, I fished the lower part, Santee Cooper, where low country or where Palmetto Cats is from. I grew up, we would make annual trips every year in the spring and, well, all through the year. Back in the 80s when the stripers were, and I mean, I grew up striper fishing and throwing out cut bait to catch an occasional catfish, but and that's what the sodiums are for, to do some striper fishing. We don't have striper on Lake Keowee, but we have striper in the lake right below us, Lake Hartwell. So I'm sitting on a lake. There's Lake Joe Cassie, and it's around 350 feet deep. This one's a little under. It's in the heavy 290s, something like that, in the deepest part of this lake. And then you drop down into Lake Hartwell, and there's been a lot of Bassmaster Classics and things like that on it. So Joe Cassie and Keowee are pretty clear water lakes, but but Lake Hartwell, they've got hybrid, striper, white perch like Lake Wiley does. The bucket list for me is to go to Tennessee River. I want to go over there and fish Nickajack and Watts Bar and do some of that and hang out with some of the people that fish that area. But I need to get back down to Santee Cooper. I haven't done that either. Hey James, and you and I know you would laugh at me, but it's been cold here, cold, windy, cold, but not kind of cold like you guys deal with up north and in the DC area or either out in Colorado. But for us, like it was freezing, 20 degrees, wind blowing. So this is like 40 degrees. The wind's not blowing. The lake's flat. So we're gonna come out and do a little bit of night fishing. Hey, Mark, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Well, I'll show you. If you just popped in, I'll show you what we've been catching. Woo! So here's a couple of them right here. We've got some slabs, just a lot of black crappie in there. So we are crappie and catfishing. You'd be proud of me, Mark. I caught a 30-pound blue cat, and I did that before we went live. But I'll end up posting a short on it. But it's the biggest so far for me. But I got a buddy with me, and he's out there fishing on the front of the boat, tearing the crappie up. Oh, thank you. I'll show you guys what I got in my setup here. But I've got the light the Compex light. It's set up above me, giving me the shining down on me. But I have a 400-watt sodium and a Honda generator running, and I wasn't sure whether or not it would be too aggravating for you guys if you're hearing that rumble the whole time, or if it's super annoying, the audio wouldn't be good. But I've got a couple of sodiums. I actually have 400-watt sodiums, but I never run all of them two at the most, but right now all I'm doing is running one. But I'll show you what I got. It's a 400 watt. It's one off this side of the boat. Now, we're just out here doing a little bit of catfishing and crappie fishing. A little Honda generator powering it. And then on this side of my pontoon boat, well, that's great. I'm glad you hear zero generator. It's pretty quiet, but it's not completely silent. But that's my complex. I ain't gonna go and blind you, but it goes up, and you know all about. Everybody on here knows about the complex lights. But I've got it set up to where it shines down and it can kind of light me up. And I've got a crappie rod, and I got my man. He's bringing in another crappie slab. And I'm letting him catch crappie, or he's schooling me on crappie, taking me to school on my own boat. Like, that's just totally wrong. But anyway, I've got this 400 watt sodium, and I'll show you the bait fish that we've got around us right now. This is Lake Keowee. It's clear, and that's why you can see them that good. But that is a bunch of little bait fish. That's all bait fish. And this reflection right here, that's my net. That's the reflection off my net that's hanging over the boat. But they're up here, and those crappie will come up and smash it. And that 30-pound blue cat did not mind the generator. Hey, Haz, thank you for coming in, boss man. I appreciate it, all the way from the DC area, you and Bex. But that blue cat did not mind the generator, did not mind this big 400 watt sodium light. It is, they smashed it anyway, but I was hoping I would. Yeah, Mr. Gadget, it did. I thought it was my bumper on the side of the boat. I threw my buoy bumpers out, and I thought that's what it was, but I'm like, no, that's a net. But I'm in 40 feet of water. This water's clear, but it's not that clear. Now, on Joe Cassie, it's a lot clearer than this. And I wanted to get up there tomorrow and fish it. There's going to be a bass tournament on this lake. Hey, thank you, Haz. I appreciate you sharing me out, brother. And thank you for the thumbs up. And I am a major rookie here. And this feed is liable to go out. I've got an external battery, but I'm not sure it's charging my phone. So if it just shuts off, guys, have a blessed night. I'm sorry that it automatically shuts off. I didn't. I'm doing my best to take and figure all this stuff out on the live stuff. I think I've got the video, and I'm doing better on it. But the live, I'm still trying to get it to where I can get a signal and it doesn't go dead. And I guess up there in the DC area, you don't have a problem with the cell service or a signal. But here in the upstate of South Carolina, I get like 2 bars on a lot of part of this lake, and I wasn't even sure I would get a clear signal. Hey, well, I'm glad you joined in. I always join into you guys. I mean, I love watching you guys fish as well, and I thought, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and this is the 3rd time going live, and I have yet to catch a fish live. And I said, and this is probably the jinx right here. Those rods probably won't go over now that I've got I'm live, but at least my buddy's bringing them in here for me. He's got my back on it, so I guess I'm the captain of the boat. Technically, it's my fish, right? Maybe. He says no. But thanks again, the 21 thumbs up. And I got 9 great people here. Thank you so much for joining me. We are in a chilly, not chilly, but a nice, comfortable, probably 40 degrees out here. Our water temperature is 53 degrees. Sitting in right off a creek channel, really steep bank coming up. We were fishing a green light off a boat dock. They shut the green light off, but the sodium still got all the bait and the fish here. But so far, 130-pound blue and a bunch of crappie. Yeah, that's how it works in tournaments too. I hear you, Beck. Oh man, that sounds good. I had a salad, catfish and crappie. I scarfed down a salad before I came out here. But we've got some crappie fillets that we'll end up cooking up. But I only have two catfish rods rigged up tonight. I have two that I could just kind of keep on the boat, but I didn't bring my other rods out here because we intended on doing nothing but crappie fishing. But I couldn't resist. I had some frozen gizzard shad in the freezer, and I went ahead and threw them in the boat, and we started crappie fishing, catching a couple of crappie. And I think I caught one, and I said, okay, I got to cut up a gizzard shad and get it out the back. And I kind of forgot about him, and then that 30-pound blue just slammed this rod right here. That's in about 40 feet of water straight out the back of the boat. And I heard the rod holder. I heard the rod go over in the rod holder, and then I just grabbed it and said, "Oh boy, I'm going to stop crappie fishing for a bit." Yellow perch. There's a few yellow perch. We've we filleted them, and to me, I mean, I can't taste really a difference, and I can't taste the difference if you fry up a yellow perch versus crappie. They're both really good, but there's a few yellow perch on this lake, but nothing really big. Not like some of you guys get. You get those big yellow perch up there. Well, I did have. I said I had a salad. I had a chef salad, so it was loaded with chicken and bacon. I'm not fishing with chicken. I'm not. I just frozen. I just want to make sure. I just frozen gizzard shad. That's all I'm fishing with. No bacon, no bacon wrapped chicken. I had bacon. Maybe it brought me good luck in my salad, but only gizzard shad. Yep, everybody says bacon, and everybody's ears perks up, right? Gotta love the bacon. No, there. I have used it, gadget, and if I fish when I fish the Wiley tournament, I will probably take it because Dieter's proven that it works. I have used it on this lake, and I have yet to catch a fish on chicken. So now I haven't used it a bunch, but I brought it out and I fished it side by side with not even gizzard shad. Like my favorite bait is bluegill when I can get it, and I'll take a bluegill and fillet it, and the flatheads love them. They'll tear up the flatheads on this lake with bluegill. But I haven't had any luck on chicken on this lake. So, but no, hey, whatever works, right? But there'll probably be a bag. It works great with lakes with mussel beds, not much for cold water lakes. There's mussel beds on this lake, even though it's a deep lake. There's trout, lake trout on the upper end of this lake where it's closer to 300 feet deep by the Lake Jocassee Dam, and then Lake Jocassee is 350, 360, 370, somewhere like that, the deep depths in it. And that's where I'll go up and that and actually take the sodium light, set up, and do some lake trout fishing at night. We'll snag some bait and drop them over and catch. So the smallest you can keep is 15-inch browns and rainbows, but they're loaded in that lake. But then you go down, but there's mussels. I mean, the boat docks and the floats. Like if you pull up boards or you're swimming around the dock and you go around those plastic floats, there's loads of mussels that I guess muskrats or whatever's climbing up in there and eating those things. So I don't know if it was just the wrong time of year that I was using it. I did use the strawberry chicken, and I know a lot of people said maybe I should just use a regular when I use it. Yeah, these lakes are deep because I'm in low country. I call Palmetto low country. We call it the low country of South Carolina down by the beach. He's down around Charleston, and then you got Laura Explorer. She's over Myrtle Beach area, the flat. But as you get up in the point of South Carolina, we're in the mountains, and so this lake is a Duke Power nuclear lake. He's got a power plant on it, and they basically just filled up valleys in between the mountains, and so there's some deep spots in it. We're not that deep here. This creek that runs back in here, we're in about 60 feet of water is the middle of the creek. Now it gets deeper as you go on into the reservoir. Hey Muskrat, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I'm just doing some late night, Friday night light fishing with a buddy. We came out here to crappie fish, and I caught a 30-pound blue, which is my biggest so far. I had a couple of catfish rods on the boat, and I have had some frozen gizzard shad in the freezer. So we had this sodium light fired up, and I cast a couple of. I had a body section and a head off a gizzard shad that I threw out, and that 30-pound blue jumped on that body section. But it was fun. But anyway, the upstate of South Carolina here, we're in the mountains, so they back these lakes up for hydroelectric and nuclear power, and they're pretty deep. You get into Hartwell, it gets a little more stained water and a lot more fish in Hartwell, a lot more variety as well. I mean, there's hybrid and striper, and you got your white perch, and there's no white perch in this lake. Gizzard shad, there's been a few that's been introduced, but there's not many gizzard shad. There's a lot of threadfin, but mainly there's good crappie population, black crappie. I haven't caught a white crappie on this lake yet, and there's a ton of spotted bass on the lake, and a few largemouth bass. But thank y'all for coming in. Uh, Bex, I sure will. I will do that. I haven't been live but twice, so I don't know how to make mods in while it's doing it, while it's going. So I go back after the fact, and then I'll go back in and I'll make mods to kind of help out on that. But thank you. I sure will. I will definitely do that. Hey Jake, I missed your question. Um, it's my go-to lure for night crappie. My go-to lure, my go-to lure hasn't panned out so far tonight, and I'll show you exactly what that is. I got the Bobby Garland swimmers. Now this is in white because it's clear lake. I bought these to try these out, but the ones that I use is electric chicken, and you'll see it that color, the pink and the green, and that works well. I'll use that long lining, and but I haven't. I've got taken to school. I'll show you which bait's been tearing them up right now. Let me see that bait you got there, boss. So that little bait right here, it's a little Bobby Garland jig. And what's that called there? Bluegrass. So it's a little bluegrass and it's a little straight tail. Um, but that's now I've got some hand tied jigs, but I haven't tried them yet. I pulled them long lining, but I didn't bring them out here. We've got minnows that were downlining over the sides of the boat and caught a good many fish just off of medium-sized minnows. But it's been about equal. We've caught them about half the fish that we've got in the live well are off of minnows, and the other half are off just the soft plastics. But it's hand tying jigs gets addictive. I got you. Same ones that you use. Yeah, those work well. I like the little swim tails. Those straight tails though are what they're lacking tonight. I've got one fish on the electric chicken with a little swim tail on the end of it, but the rest of them's been hitting that little straight jig. Well, muskrat, it's funny that you say that. That's what my wife tells me. If I'm going to start another hobby, I got to give one up. And I love to hunt. So um, I'm not willing to take, and I'd always like to maybe go bear hunting or something like that, but that's not going to happen because I don't want to give up deer hunting or doing any kind of elk hunting. There's another one that went back. He just caught a crappie, but it was just a small one. They got to be 8 inches here in South Carolina to keep them, or on this lake. And that one didn't measure. It might have been 6 or 7 inches. So that's two so far that have been small, but the rest of them have been pretty good sized crappie. I've got yeah, I've only got these two catfish rods out because we just intended on crappie fishing, not catfishing tonight. So muskrat, I've got I kind of came on here to see whether or not if I went up on Lake Jocassee and did some trout fishing at night, whether or not the generator would be overpowering and that little thing would be right there would be too loud to be able to hear or too annoying for a live feed or not. And I got it powering a 400-watt sodium light over here. And then, of course, I've got the Compex light that's shining down, giving the light all the way around. But thank y'all so much for stopping in. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Those little spinners on on a little small jig head, I when I'm long lining, I usually pull one of those, um, and it usually performs very well. It'll catch bass and crappie. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to throwing and casting and see if I can take and get some crappie myself, because he's up there catching them all off the front of the boat. And hey, Mr. Lyle, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I'm over here fishing on Keowee. We came out to do some crappie fishing. I ended up throwing out a couple of catfish rods and getting a 30-pound blue cat, my biggest so far. And I had some frozen gizzard shad. I just chunked a couple of pieces and chunked them out the back of the boat, and we had some minnows dropped over doing some crappie fishing, and then also throwing some small plastics. But while y'all are in here, before I let you go, and again, I appreciate it, I'm gonna go back to throwing some. I'm gonna flip you around and kind of let you see my setup and what I got going on. But this is Keowee, the upstate of South Carolina, and I've got that's my sodium. I got a couple of these things that I'll carry up to Lake Joe Cassidy and do some night trout fishing. I'm going to do that. Spend all night up there on the lake. This time of year, it really gets good. But when these sodiums go out, that's all the bait fish we got around the boat right now. They're loaded, and those crappie are coming up and just having a field day, and occasionally getting one of our minnows that we have dropped down below there. But we're just kind of set up, and my buddy's on the front of the boat, and I've got a crappie rod right here, and that's the one I'm getting ready to start throwing again. And that's my two catfish rods that I just kind of leave on the boat. That's the only two that I brought. And when I landed that 30-pound blue cat, well, I forgot all about crappie fishing. But I'm going to get back on it, because I guess I'm going to leave those out, and I'm going to let them continue to soak. But I appreciate you guys stopping in. I really do. I've been on here a little bit over an hour, and I think my phone's about to go dead on me. So I got to get all this stuff figured out. I'm a rookie and I'm still learning, but thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up on your way out for me if you haven't done that. And then also check out my channel. I'll be posting that 30-pound blue. I'm excited about that. I mean, I am tickled. That was absolutely the highlight, and well worth coming out and doing some fishing tonight. But I won't be able to fish tomorrow. Got some things to do on top of. There's going to be a bass tournament with about 250 bass boats on this lake. So we said we'll come out tonight and just enjoy the nice peace and calm. And so the only racket is just the noise of the generator. But I'll post it, at least be a YouTube short on that 30-pound catfish. Be looking for that before the weekend's out. And thank you so much. God bless. Have a great one. And I will look forward to the shows that y'all have. I'll see y'all on every night of the week. I'm there fishing with Squirrel. Thank y'all so much, and thanks for coming in. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Have a blessed night.